Hi, good morning again, everybody. Welcome to another session of the web design training. Today we'll be looking at Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a CSS framework. What it means is a easier version of CSS. Let's put it that way. What happened is because there are developers that have looked at the website programming methods, and they realize that there are some things that we always do over and over again while building a website. So instead of you to be writing this code all the time, some people have written all the possible code. Your own is just to know the name of the class or the name of the class that you want to use. So for instance, yesterday I was creating a container. I first created it in CSS. Then I started creating all my rules for menu, for banner, for those boxes. In Bootstrap, you definitely not necessarily have to do that. So I'll start by sharing my screen. So the same website I spoke about the last time, which is W3 School, W3 Schools. Everything you need to know about Bootstrap is here. Learn Bootstrap. So you can start reading Bootstrap. We have Bootstrap 4 now. There's Bootstrap 3 was what was raining earlier. Okay, we'll look at your question, Mr. John. So, but I hope you can all see my. I hope you can all see my screen now.
I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you can start learning from Bootstrap 3, Bootstrap 4. The difference is that there are just some small fixes that have been done, some rules and more responsiveness. So they use the same classes. But what do you need to know about Bootstrap 3 or Bootstrap 4? The library is what they are referring to. That's the set of codes that you'll be using. So I'll go to my document now on my system. There's a library, there's a folder here that I had saved in my downloads. It's called Bootstrap 4.3.1. This is the Bootstrap library. Now, while you're learning Bootstrap, you can always look for the latest library online. So if you Google Bootstrap, you should find the latest Bootstrap library online. You just download it on this website, Get Bootstrap. So there's always a latest version of the Bootstrap library. Once you download it, let me download this one. So it gives you the different option. I want to work with the compiled CSS and JavaScript. I download. So what happens is you can see this one is 4.4.1. That is just the difference between this one and what I had earlier. What I had earlier says 4.3.1. So it means that this one, there are some additional stuff that they've added here that might make it more useful for me. Now, the Bootstrap library is a combination of folders and JavaScript that you require to execute your web design properly. So let's start a new project in my documents folder. So let's just say Bootstrap class. So this will be a new website. Then what you want to do with the Bootstrap class is to dump your Bootstrap library inside that folder. So this is No, let me look for that 4.4 because that's the most recent one. But anyone works anyway. So let me just copy this folder. I want to dump it inside of my new project. Bootstrap class, yes. So I just need this file to be inside my website folder. Now, if you remember yesterday, while we're creating our CSS file, I first created an index page, which was the web page I wanted to work with. I want to create another index page this time, index.html. Sorry, save this inside the Bootstrap class. Now, remember yesterday I created HTML, a new HTML page, and somewhere along the line, and try to let's say Bootstrap class. And somewhere inside my header, I linked my CSS file, style sheet, type was text / CSS and href. I linked my CSS file. So now what we are linking to here is to link to our Bootstrap CSS. There's a CSS file inside this folder. Let me take out the content of the folder. Sorry. Let me put it here. So the thing about Bootstrap is you copy out the CSS and JavaScript folder because that's all you need. So it looks like this. So I tried to connect to the CSS file. We're trying to connect to the CSS file that is inside here. So these are different Bootstrap CSS files. There's bootstrap.css, there's bootstrap.mini.css. All these ones are different files that work together. So just pick this css.mini. That mini is the minimum requirement. You know, it's lighter than the bootstrap.css. So this is usually the one you want to connect to. So you want to connect to this file. The file is inside CSS, and that's the name of the file. So in my code, I'll just do CSS / the name of that CSS file. This singular action, I have brought in the entire CSS library to my website. So it means anything that I'm doing, I can start using the classes inside this CSS library. Now, why do we call it CSS library? Because it's a CSS file, just like the one we've been creating yesterday. Let me open it so that you understand what I'm saying. You do not edit it, because once you edit it, you export it. This is somebody else has written all the possible rules that you might need in CSS. So these are different rules saved inside that file. So we want to be using them. That's why we're referring to the file. So it means that there's a rule in that CSS library that says, let's say, div class. By the time I type a particular rule, what happens is the CSS library would start listing the possible class that I want to use. You understand? So if I say txt, these are rules that are existing inside the CSS library. So let's say container, and I type. Now, this time you see that I didn't declare any rule in my CSS file for container. But as soon as I open my page, you see that it started from here because there's a class called container inside the CSS. You know, yesterday when we were doing our CSS, we were writing our own container class. We had to first, let me try and open the yesterday's CSS folder. We had to write our own classes for container before we could use the container. We had to write this class 1170 blah 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 before we could use the container. But in Bootstrap, they have already created container. You only should just call it. So all the possible rules that you need to know are already saved in the CSS folder. So this is just to give you a preamble before we run through our training slides. So today we'll be running through CSS library. Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a free front-end framework for faster and easier web development. Bootstrap includes HTML and CSS-based templates for typography, forms, buttons, tables, navigation, modals, images, and the rest. So with Bootstrap, you need to understand that Bootstrap uses a grid system, which allows you to divide your screen or your web page into 12 columns. So what that means is the way my screen is, Bootstrap has divided it into 12 columns from top to bottom. Something similar to what you are seeing here. So each column takes its own space. So the entire screen is 12 columns. So if I want to do anything, if I want to divide the page into 3, I'll have to use four columns at a time. If I want to divide my page into 2, I want the left side to be smaller than the right side. I'll divide my page into 2, and I'll say maybe one should be 3 or 4, the other one should be 8. We'll get to the clarity to clear that part very, very well. So now the basic structure of Bootstrap is to create row for every new line that you want to, any new section that you want to work with, you have to create a new row. So now, basically, how do you use your grid in CSS is to call the column by the size and the number. So when I say column SM4, it means I need a small screen, divide this page into a small screen format using 444. Now, before we go far, let me show you what I've been trying to do. Now, your container determines your screen size. If I write here, this is a container. If I want to use full screen, another type of container is called container fluid. So this one is inside container, this one is inside container fluid. So let's preview on our browser to see the difference. If I refresh, the container starts here, whereas the container fluid starts from the beginning of the page. So while we want to design our website, we'll stick to the container and container fluid approach. So in my container, I would create a row first, and everything I want to do in that row would sit in the row. So CSS is telling you that when you want to segment your page, it is easier to use Bootstrap and use the column class. So when I say div class column MD, MD is for medium screen. We'll be using MD a lot. So let's just stick to medium screen because most of our laptops, most of us use laptops and tabs. So medium screen is fine. When you decide to visit the web page in a smaller screen, it adjusts itself. So let's say MD 12, or sorry, 6. And I type side 1. I close that. I do another MD 6. And I say side 2. What this simply means is that I've divided my screen into 2 equal half. This is side 1, this is side 2. So these are different columns in Bootstrap. Now, the slide said that Bootstrap cannot use more than 12 columns at a time. So it means that if I want to use, if I want to create anything within this row, I cannot exceed 12, or else it will go to the next line. So it's either, let me give this guy let me give them a different color. So that way we can understand what I'm saying. Sorry. So with Bootstrap, you can still write your own CSS rule. I can still include my own CSS rule here. So while I'm using Bootstrap, I'll be calling Bootstrap styles, and I'll be writing my own. Anything that I want to do that is unique, I'll use my own style sheet. So let me just say div. Let me just say all the div in the page should have background color gray. Then let me say, let me give them a border color 333. Let's see whether that will show. Oh no, I have to choose a border style. Border style equals solid. Now, what we've done with this is to say I can easily, sorry, let me even add the width, border width 1 pixels. Okay, so this is side 1, side 2. You can easily depict the 2 sides. What this means is when I want to create anything in Bootstrap, I must, by all means, not exceed 12, because the whole of this column, the whole of this row can only be divided into 12. So if I were to design a page and I want one side to be larger than the other, I can say side 1 in this area should be 3, then side 2 should be 9. I cannot exceed 12. So if I refresh this page, you see something similar to this. So now you can see, let me put a BR. Let me put 2 BRs here so that we don't touch each other. So while I'm designing my website, I'm saying that, what I want to do in this site should not exceed 3 columns, and this one should not exceed 9 columns. So everything that I want to do here, whether it's an image, whether it's a text, whether it's a write-up, I can do as much as I want in this column. It means that everything I'll do would be maintained on that left side. So everything I'm doing is happening here. This side is left for side 2. So how do we really use these features? Let me give you an example on the design that we did. Yes, Muyiwa has converted our designs to web page, but before we get there, let's use something else as an example. Okay, so Alado website. So for me, this is our web page. While I was creating this Bootstrap, this side was divided into 2. This is 6. This is another 6. I only floated right and floated left here. This side, because the logo is not eating too much of the space, I'll probably do 2 or 3 columns, meaning that it will stop around here. The logo will sit in that side, and the remaining 9 is here. This is the banner area. The banner area is using the entire 12. This is another part of the page. Here, I will divide it into 2. This is 6. This is 6, because I can't exceed 12. When I come here, this is another row. This is 6. This is 6. This is 6. This is 6. This one too is 6. This is 6. I only added enough margin. Somewhere here, this is 3, 3, 3, 3. because if you add them all together, they make up 12. Why is that? Bootstrap recognizes mobile devices. So when you have to visit this website on a small device, it would know that it should move this one down, it should move this one down, it should move this one down. How do I see preview this on a to see how it will look like on a mobile site? So now while I'm scrolling down, you can see this guys, the first 6, it comes down. The next one comes down. The next one tries to arrange itself. And that is why Bootstrap is better than CSS, because when you do things in CSS, you don't have the system will not automatically rearrange your road for mobile view. And when you're on a full screen, everybody stands the way they should be. This is one of the advantages of Bootstrap. So we say this for Bootstrap, there are different columns. If I decide to preview this one on a smaller device, you see that side 1, side 2 will rearrange itself. They will go up, the next one will come down, this one will go up, the next one will come down. That way, whether you are visiting the website from a laptop or a screen, you don't lose out any information. They don't go and hide at the edge of the screen. They just cascade down. And as I'm increasing it based on the device that I'm using, they maintain their initial shape. So for Bootstrap, it just has to do with you knowing the classes you want to use. So another typical example is to say, I want to bring in a button. Remember, our code for button says href, input type submit, button is submit, value is login, and you save. If we look at this on our page, you see it's a regular button. It's just sitting there. But with Bootstrap, because we know that people, most time you are creating an application, you need a blue button, you need a green button, you need it. So Bootstrap has classes for button. Once you call it, put it BTN, Bootstrap recognizes it that, oh, you want to start using the Bootstrap class. Now the button has changed. Let me remove our button. Let it stand away outside the divs because it's maintaining the divs color. So now Bootstrap changes the button to a transparent object. You can now say, well, if you want green, in Bootstrap, anything green is called success. So I call it button success. All this you read in that our documentation. So now the button is green. If I were to create a red button for the purpose of Bootstrap, red is danger. So while I'm designing a website, unless I want to start working with buttons that are far away from the regular Bootstrap button, I don't have to start creating buttons and styling them. You can see that it gave it a very nice style. It has given it a rollover effect. These are things that I had to write a couple of codes for to achieve with my normal CSS. Same thing applies to your form. Remember yesterday we were creating form. Let me hide all this our style. This style is no longer necessary. Remember we were doing a form yesterday, and we're styling our form yesterday. Let's say input type text, name is fname, and the placeholder is enter your first name, and I do that for a couple of times, just to have different field, last name, email, phone. Now, if you look at this, this is how the button will display. This is a simple, straightforward button. In Bootstrap has a class called form control. Most websites that you see, their forms are always looking nicer and sleek. This form control is what manages that. If I put form control for each of the text field, they'll be optimized for both screen and mobile. If I refresh now, you can see now, because Bootstrap knows that for a text to look good, it needs some form of nice padding, enough space. You know, it will use the appropriate size. You can now type inside. Same thing applies. When I want to create the submit button, I can maintain the same submit value is let's say register now. And I leave the form control because that's the attribute we want to use. But you know, a particular object can use multiple class. So I'll also add button. This is how we use the button to say button info or button primary. That's a kind of light blue color. So the register now is there. So I can fill. And on my mouse over, you see the effect and everything that the button already has. So you don't have to start styling a button. If the color blue is far away from the design of your website, you can use warning. Warning is a button that is used to depict warning, but the color is kind of yellow. You can use all the classes that we are referring to. You can find them in the W3 school library. You can use another type is okay, we've seen danger, we've seen success, we've seen info. So now when it comes to PHP and Bootstrap colors, they are a handful. Let me show you, let me just write them out so that you can see. You have, whether it's button you're working with or you're working with the text. So is it that you are saying text success or button success? These are green. So button warning is that we have button warning, which is yellowish. It's kind of yellow. We have button info. It's a type of blue. It's blue. We have button primary. This one is a darker blue. Let's say dark blue. And we have button danger, which has a color that is very close to red. So this way, you know that when you want to color your button or color your text, warning, info, primary, danger. But that doesn't mean that you cannot give your button a color that you prefer. All you just simply need to do is in your own CSS, which you would have in an external file, you would have created maybe a class and you called it, let's say I call this one my button. And I say background color. I want it to be this Indian red. It means that if I want to change that color, I'll just include this and my own class to the list of classes that the button is calling. That way, the color will change to what I want, to a color that I prefer. So these are the kind of things that you tend to do with Bootstrap and their button. I want to believe that we are all clear with the grid. I'll take questions at the end of the slide. So by default, Bootstrap will style your HTML headings. So our normal H1, H2, H3, H6, they seem to be different in Bootstrap. It has been designed to be much more moderate and more sleek. So an example is to say H1. Olumide is a man. In Bootstrap, by the time you refresh this page, Olumide is a man. The font is finer, is sleeker, and cool. But how do you know how it will look like? Let me remove the link to the Bootstrap library and refresh this page. See, the Olumide is a man. It just jumped to the left and it's looking regular font. Because the Bootstrap library is not here, the normal container would not work. So I've returned the library and everything looks the way it should. So that's another thing. So Bootstrap, they're telling you that in Bootstrap, header 1 is 36 pixel, 30, 24. It's still the same thing with heading. Now in Bootstrap, tables are very, 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 very cool. Remember how we drew our table in HTML that we now needed to start separating the table. Let me show you an example. Now see table. Let me go and pick the table that we've used so I don't have to spend so much time typing. Where did we use table? I don't think we used table here. So I've deleted the page we used table. Okay, there's no table here. So let me just quickly pull up table. Remember the table, when you want to use your header, you say TH and TH. Name. Let's add 4 more columns. Email, phone, action. Let's say action. So now I'm going to the next TR. So I need to have 4 TDs, which is TD, the data itself, Olumide, Abikoye, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say this action. I want a link there. href. It shouldn't go anywhere. Delete. So I want the link that says delete. So name, email, yahoo.com. Phone number 816117834. So I want to replicate this guy. Right? By the time I go to my web page and I preview, this is the table. All we did the last time was to add a border 1 so that we can see the lines around the table. Now, this is where Bootstrap has a very, very useful features. Bootstrap, because they know that you will use table a lot, whether to pull out data, whether to showcase data coming from a database, all you just need to do is to put a class here, and call the table class. There's a class table in the Bootstrap library. You have told the page that you should use Bootstrap library. See how wonderful Bootstrap works. He arranged the table equally because that's where you pasted it, gave it equal size, and drew very nice neat lines. Now, if I want the table to have a border, I'll say table bordered. That I want this table to be the bordered one. Now you can see that the table has border all around it. This is what makes Bootstrap very, very nice. Now the table is using the entire screen. I don't want the table to use it. I want the table to be like half of the screen, because I want to use the remaining half part to do something, maybe an image. I want to drop an image there or something. So that is where that column comes in. So let me highlight all the table. Let me cut it out. You know, this is a row. So what I would have done is to say div class column MD6 because I want it to be half. And I paste the table there. It means that the table would manage 6. 6 is half of the page, half of the screen. So if I were to put something else here, something else here, I can now come at the end of this div, which is where my column started. At the end of it, I'll continue with my second part of the table, and I write what I want to write there. Whether it's an image I want to drop there or the text, it just comes here. Now, it doesn't have to be 6, 6. Maybe I want to have another column here. Maybe this whole place is 6. Then I will divide this one into 2, meaning 3, 3. That way, I can, instead of me to write 6, I'll write 3. And I'll write another 3. Maybe just change the way the text will. So this way, I have created, sorry, I'm trying to get the ball right here. I've created this, I divided this column into 3. The first portion takes 6, which is half. The second portion takes 3, which will stop somewhere here. This one stops somewhere here. Then the third part would stop at the end of the page, meaning that I've segmented that page. So once I'm done with that, I know that everything is in a row, which started and ended and ends here. So let me go back to the slides and run through the rest. So that's that for table. So table is just, you've written your table tag. All you just need to do is to write class table. Now we have images. You can bring in images to Bootstrap. And using Bootstrap, you can create effect on your images. Simple, let me get that our image that we used in our class yesterday, CSS. Yeah, let me just take this images, project 1 to 4. I create a new folder here, I call it images, and I paste them there. So project 1 to 4. Now in this column, I can put in image src images project 1.jpg. I want to use the second image in the second column, which is 2. Start getting interesting. Now you can see one image is here, another image is here. They shared that column space. One thing about Bootstrap again is that it looks at the size of your image. Whatever column space you created for it, it optimizes that space such that the image does not go bigger than the space allocated to it. You understand? But on mobile, the image remains the same size. You know, there's what we call responsiveness, meaning that when you're looking at an image on the screen, yes, whatever size it has on the screen, by the time you're looking at it on mobile, the image should not be small. If it's small on screen, it should become bigger on a mobile phone so that the person can see it clearly. You can see that these images, as why I'm minimizing this is a simple way of quickly looking at how this thing will behave on mobile. So the table takes the full width. The images are now aligning to the left. But if I want the image to respond based on the screen, there's a class called image responsive, class img responsive. This responsive helps images to respond to the screen. So now if I refresh and I reduce this, naturally this image if you are looking at it on the mobile, they increase and take away their maximize this space. Now from our slide, I want to make the image to have a circle edge or image rounded, I guess. Let me see, because yeah, image rounded. What that does is it gives the image a round edge, a curved edge. Something is wrong here. So, yeah. Let me take out one image so that we can see what is happening. I think this version of the Bootstrap library. Okay, it looks like the more recent version of this library is not having those effects. Let me use one of the other libraries that I had downloaded before. So work with the one that is more stable. So those classes that I'm trying to pull are not in this library. Is it that they've changed it? You know, when we open the Bootstrap page to see which library we wanted to take, there's 4.0, there's 3. Something. So I think the version I downloaded does not have those classes. Let me go back to let me pick this version. Let's see whether there'll be changes. Okay. I think I picked the wrong library. You can see this library is the correct one. I was using the wrong one before. So you can see that the image, the class image circle puts the image in a maxed circle. So that other one I tried earlier, rounded, will put a curved edge at the edge. Instead of it to have the sharp edge, they'll have round edges. I'm sure you see a lot of thumbnails images where they say an image has a thumbnail. It looks like a thumbnail. You just put the image in a box, in a small box, and the image looks nicer like a frame. So these are the classes that we are playing with. So I've used the rounded, there's the circle, and there's the thumbnail. So these classes are what you just need to actually know when you're using the CSS. So when you go to the Bootstrap course on W3 School, you'll be exposed to a whole lot of other libraries that you can manage. So there's what we call glove icons. You know, glove icons are those icons that we tend to use when we're designing websites. Some of these icons that when we're designing all those pages that we went to go and pick up in the flat icons website, those are images. You first save them. So what Bootstrap does, Bootstrap already has a library of these things. So you don't need to start going online to get the images. So now see, on the other column, if I decide to use a glove icon, for instance, I think is most times used with an eye. Let me see, div, class, glide. I hope I got the spelling right. Div icons. Sorry. BLYPHI. Yeah, div icons. And I decide to say, oh, I want an envelope icon. So first I want to use a div icon. Envelope. Let's see how that appears. You can see the envelope icon just shows up. So if I need an envelope, instead of me to start going to look for the image, saving it on my system, and start worrying about it, I can just easily pick the glide icon. Let us put it in the same under the image so that it's clearer. So you can have glide icons even for social media icons. I think you can find for Facebook. Usually what I do is, how do I know the icon by their names? While I'm designing a website, I go to a browser and I open glide icons. I go to this and I open glide icons. So the glide icons component enables me to know, okay, which is which. So these are the different icons. These are the different glide icons that Bootstrap currently supports. So if I needed an arrow, I'll just copy the name of the glide icon and go and dump it inside my page. So I dump it here, knowing that, okay, I need a arrow pointing right. So these are the kind of things. You can see that the arrow appeared. Now, using glide icons, you can increase the size of the object, because now the default size is very small. So in case maybe what I'm doing, I need something larger, I can always use the I think, let me see, we use 2x. 2x means times 2 of the size that's currently there. I need to check that up. Glide icons size. So the trick there is, I've always said it, you don't need to, there's no cramming of anything in your head. You can always find your codes in W3 School. So I want to increase the size of a glide icons. Okay, this is how it is written. But this is not how we used to write it before. I think it's the same situation with the library. If it doesn't work, you can also go to your CSS and increase the size of the class and tie that class to it. Let me find the page. So apparently it's not working. Okay, anyways, using the fav icon and glove icons is one. We have another type, it's called font awesome. Font awesome is more robust. This is the one that we use most of the time. But once you've mastered how to use Bootstrap and fav icons, you can move to font awesome. Font awesome has much more classes and much more icons than glove icons. So when I go to the icons page, I can see all the icons, including battery. When I want to depict something, is having high temperature, low battery, you know, credit card icons. So any kind of icons you're looking for, you just copy the name, put it in your class, and the icon changes to, and the icon appears in that part of your screen. So that's that about Glide icons. We have menus. This is how you use your menu in Bootstrap. Menus are always put inside a list. You remember our ordered and unordered list. Once you have your list, you just change the UL to a class that carries nav. You know, tabs are created using nav tabs. So now these are tabs. Tabs are like navigation in your menu. So let's say I wanted to do something that had to do with a menu. I'll say div. That's before the page. Let's say from the beginning, I have a row before all this other row, div, class, row. Then we have what do you call it? UL. And here I say li home. So let's say I have 5 or 6 menu: home, about us, services, project, gallery, feedback, contact us. So now, you know, this is the normal list that we've always we learned in HTML. In my browser. If I refresh this, the list appears here. But now, to make it a menu, without having to write so many code, I take class nav, and nav tab. This is a type of menu. What happens is the thing forms. It takes out the library and forms a menu out of it. So now it has arranged them it has floated them left. But technically, it should look like this. So this is another issue with this version of what do you call it, the Bootstrap. So before now, the tab will look like this. But let's look for another example. Let's try the pills. So from time to time, they upgrade their classes, but this shouldn't stop you from. Let's see whether if I make this a div, it will make any difference. Okay, so for the nav, you might need to create a different approach for that one. So Bootstrap has stopped supporting the tab nav. That's what it means. While we are running our class, we'll maintain the normal way we write our tab. There's something that has helped us to do. It has helped us to remove all the buttons, bullets, and everything. They have filtered it left. So it's easy for you to further customize this style. So now we are moving to the forms part. You know, Bootstrap has what a class called form control, which is something that we saw earlier. Remember, I shared how the form usually look like before you added the form control tab. So on my column 3, which is the third part of this page here, if I wanted my form to arrange themselves here, I can always manage the third column of the page and quickly do that. Why is this? Okay, sorry. So, but for every form we are creating, forms usually have their style. Is either you're creating the form vertically, that's from top to bottom, or horizontally from left to right, or inline forms. And these forms, you would have to put them in their own groups so that it is easy for the system to know that this form this particular class go together with this form. But the form control, which is the critical thing that we're looking at here, is to just enhance how your form looks like, which is what we have here. So you can see that compared to the way our form, while we're designing our what do they call it? Our page in HTML, the form, we're not looking this neat and sleek. So looking at the codes here, you can quickly see that after creating a form, you put each and every one of your elements, which is the email and first name, you put it in a div called form group. You know that these ones are together. You group the next one, password and password field. This one are together. Your checkbox and the rest, they are together, and you create your button. A quick example of why you have to do that is because of the sizing of your column. So let's say I create a form quickly, and I want to have first name, last email, username, password, login. So I'll create a div class, and I say form group, meaning that these guys are together. So in that group, the label is so that I can easily identify first name, username. Then after the label, I can put my button, my text field. And let me give it a name, username. And I give it a class form control. And I give it class form control. I do the same thing for the next field. Let me just replicate this. I call this password, but instead of text, I call this a password, so it's a password field. I give it a name, call it pass. This is done. Then the next item, which is the checklist, the check box, I can just say checkbox. This one does not need a label. It just needs input type checkbox. Let me just say I agree or sorry, remember me. Then I'm done with that, and I create the next group by saying this should be a submit. The class is a button danger. I want it to be red. That's why I'm using a button danger as the. So this way, by the time we visit by the time we look at our web page, the form. Sorry, I did not add the class form control properly. Sorry. Okay, this class is not closed yet. I guess that's where that confusion is coming from. So you can see the username, password, remember me, and submit. This is a form that has full control of its environment, so it maximizes the space. That's what this form control does. If I move this same form, if I carry this same form, let me not cut it out, and take it to where I have my table. The same code without making any changes. See how it behaves here. Because it is inside a column definition of 6, it takes the entire space. That is how the the form control works. So if I were to design a form and I want it to be in the middle of the page, I want it to be properly aligned, like some very nice login page in some websites, I just need to make sure that I'm having my column in the middle. So simple. Instead of me having 6 at the top, I remove these 3. I remove everything inside these 3. This 3 is out. I remove everything inside this one. This is another 3. Now I can clear this 3 away from here. So the page starts from, this is 4. So the beginning of my column, the beginning of my columns, I can have a 4 here, 4 here, and like 4 here, which means that I've shared my page to 4, 4, 4. So it's divided into 3, but the first 4 is blank, the last 4 is blank, but the middle 4 is where I have my form. So my my page will look similar to this. So that way, I can easily write a style on this particular page to say margin top 200. You know, somewhere here I use my H2 and I type please log in, and here instead of leaving it without a value, I put login as the value of the button. If I refresh this page now, this is what we have. Meaning that, oh, I designed a page, I put my login button in the exact middle of the page where people can type their username and password, login, and they continue. So this is some of the very straightforward and simple things that Bootstrap can help you achieve. So for the form inline, if you want your form to follow this structure, all you need to do is to add to your form class and say, oh, this form is inline. It means that all the parameters of your form would try to fit into a line. Let's say I make this a 8. This is 4, 8. I make this 2. I made this 2. Remember that for every row, because the row starts here and ends at the bottom here, they shouldn't exceed 12. So 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 12. So this is the inline method of your form display. So if you don't want it to be in an inline method, you take out the inline and you leave your form for the system to put them line after the other. So because we made this place 8, that's why it is taking the entire screen. So the combination of knowing how to use your column and your environment is what makes Bootstrap a unique tool. So I want to unmute. We'll take question and answers. Before I design a simple page, maybe like something similar to what we did yesterday using the Bootstrap. Yeah, were you guys following me? Hello.
We are listening. We have to go back again and play them bit by bit while practicalizing them. For now, we're just hearing from you and just doing the lecture. After everything, I'll now go back, play it, say people step by step, go back again and practicalize.
Yeah, but one of the critical things you need to look at also, besides just watching the video, you should have that W3 School handy. I've uploaded it to our the empowerment platform. You will see offline W3 School offline. Once you download it, extract it on your system, just open the index file. That's the first file. You see that W3 School will just load. Then you can start learning HTML, start learning Bootstrap, learning CSS one after the other.
Okay.
Hello? So, are there any questions?
Hello.
Hello, Benjamin.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good
Sorry
afternoon,
for
sir.
my always coming late to class.
No, wala.
No vex. I'm really. I want to say a very big thank you for the opportunity once again, because even just like the other person said, that we still have to sit down, watch videos, read our book, make practice, so that we can reflect and know where it all remains. But really, as I go along the lecture, these are things that I really, it's an eye opener. I get to reflect it immediately. Like
Okay.
when I'm being a travel agent, when I'm booking on my system compared to when I'm using my phone. So all those
Yeah.
things, as you are explaining, I can easily align with it. That
Okay.
especially when you talk about the cascading. So I usually
Yeah.
pick it, oh, so this is what does that. Rather than having
Yes.
it on a horizontal level, it now brings it
Yeah.
down vertically.
Yeah.
So it
Before
is really
before
an eye
now.
opener. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I can relate with it. And I believe once I start practicing, I'm going to understand it more.
Okay.
Very interesting that HTML is a beautiful woman. CSS now has makeup. Bootstrap now
Exactly.
added more surgery to even make it
Yeah.
perfect.
But
So
yes, exactly.
I'm getting along. I'm not saying I can do it yet, but I'm really getting along.
All right.
More power to your elbow. You can continue,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So another very important thing that I want everybody to notice, to observe. Tomorrow, we'll be
Yes.
learning how to design a website with WordPress. You know, we have done one WordPress class, how to create a blog. Now, the
Okay.
reason why we start with all this HTML, all these things, is so that you understand the fundamentals. If you can,
Okay.
you know, that sometimes they'll tell you, are you a web designer? Yes. Oh yeah, I need a website like this, like this. 80% of the websites that you want to design, you can use WordPress for it.
Straight up.
WordPress is to look for a team online, and pick the theme, and you'll now be able to manipulate the template and all that. Now, we'll be doing that WordPress tomorrow. If we had started with WordPress, some people will not be patient to learn HTML again, because you say, I don't design the website finish now. You understand? So tomorrow, WordPress is more graphical, is less of code, is less code. We'll probably not even type code in most places. You understand? But if we must type code, it means that now your HTML that you've learned, you now use the idea of HTML to know how to manage. That is one. Two, at the end of this class, in case I forget, there's a website called W3C Layout. I'll share the website with you on the screen now.
Okay.
That website has, if you want to design a website, just go there, see the template of the website that you like, download it. You know what the website will do? It will download. Are you with me? It will download
We are with you.
the home, about us, services, and everything, bam, on your system. Once it downloads it, you can now start changing the theme, the content based on what you want. But it will be easier for you to change if we've gone through this class. You will know what to do. So now it means that while you are still learning how to do your own code, you can actually start designing websites using templates.
Okay.
You understand? So I'll quickly show you let me type the name of the website so that you guys
I
can.
have one more question.
All right, no wala. W3C layout.com. Let me see whether the layout has an S. So I just want to go straight to the screen so I can show you what I'm saying. This one's slow. Okay, it has an S. W3C layout. Okay, you go ahead with your question.
Yeah. When we're talking about tables, when you got to the aspect of tables and in Bootstrap, I wanted to ask the table, for example, the list of the list of the names, email that you put there, that you drop down. It's does Bootstrap allows one to color each color, to color it like you want to do each row, either row or the width or the border or something.
Yes.
Does it allow you to color it?
The thing
like
is,
we did
Bootstrap.
CSS.
Yes.
Okay.
Bootstrap is CSS.
Yeah.
Bootstrap is CSS. So whatever thing you want to do, write your own CSS rule. I'm trying to go back to when the table was still on the head. So this is the table. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
This is the table. Let me go back to the browser. I'll come back to sorry. Sorry, I want to open our classwork again. So you know this table, what you're saying is if you want to paint or color the border and all that.
Yes.
This is what I will do. For me, I'll write my own CSS rule. I can call it tab color. You understand? Then I'll now say background color. Let's say that indigo.
Okay.
Once I add that tab color, you know, there's table class here, table border. I'll put a space and add my own class, which is tab color.
Okay.
That way, by the time I go back to the page and refresh, it takes
the
color. You know, I said background color. So if it were to be something else that I wanted to do, like the border color, I'll say border color, let's say long green, and I refresh. It takes.
You have not put it. You didn't put it in the body.
No, it's there. I'm just
You didn't change it to border.
Sure. Border color. Okay, there's something called important in Bootstrap, in CSS generally. When you are using Bootstrap and you are trying to change a rule, you know, this border comes with the Bootstrap library. You might want to style the rule, not the table. So each of the role is what has that border, that border color.
Okay.
Tab color. Sorry. So let me give it a width 1 pixel. Nice.
Your fault. You committed yourself. For the sake of friendship, you were engaged and you didn't even tell me about it. You just kept it hidden from me. You are responsible for everything around you, and now you have to fix it. You may not love Elliot. Abby always trusts you. Why did you betray his trust? I'm not taking his side. All that he is doing is what any brother would do if he loves his sister.
So you can see the color now.
Yes.
Okay, so each of the table has the table cells are the ones that carry the color. Each one of them carry the color. So if I decide to now give that part a small background color again, it will take that color as it is. Can you see?
Perfect.
So whatever rule you want to set, you can do that. Bootstrap even has this inbuilt rule called table stripes or something. Table stripes. It has table hover such that when you're on the page and your mouse is moving over the table, that place will just be highlighted. So these are different classes.
Yes.
Now when you read when you read the sorry, I think it's over table over. You see, even me myself, that's how program. You see, as my mouse is moving over it now,
Yes, yes, yes.
so that I can
Correct.
know where you are. See this link? You know, it's a link.
Yes,
The delete button is a link. We
yes.
designed the delete button. I can make that link a button by just putting the button class, button red. Sorry, red is danger. Sorry, but you know, it's only the first one that I've done. That by the
Okay,
time I refresh, only that one. So if
okay,
I don't want it to look like a link anymore, I just use the button class. So your
okay.
ability to know which class does what, all the classes and what they do, you will follow. If you read that W3 school, they will take you step by step by step. So this video is to give you a clear usage. The W3 school now gives you the name for every element so that you can practice and master them.
Yeah, okay.
So are we now? Yes. So now to that W3C layout is very important.
Okay.
This is a website where you can find free templates. I come to their template, and what kind of website do I want to do? I want to do an agricultural website. I want to do a corporate business website. I want to do you mentioned travel. I want to do a
Yeah.
travel agent website. I click on travel agent. Even me, as a professional, I use this website for people that, oh, Lou, I need a website. I beg, this, that. How much you go pay? I don't get past 50 or 60 or 80K. I'll just collect that one. Because when you need them, maybe you'll be ready for this time. I'll just come here, look for a website that meets my need in terms of that travel look and feel that I feel that the guy will like. Let's say this looks like something that I want. I click on it. It takes me to another page that shows me the full view. I click on the demo. The demo is for you to see how the website will really look like on the browser. This website, it meets my need though. I'll just change this picture. I know I'll change the name. You know, I'll just be editing this text. All the text there is Lorem Ipsum. There's no, they left it there for you to come and change it to what you want.
Okay.
This looks perfect for what I want. And if I click on About Us, I see how the About Us page, and I feel that this one bam. All I just need to do is to download the template. It is free. It is free. They have a donation of $10 if you feel that you want to support their ministry, because they keep a lot of this website on the platform free. I click on the free one and I download. It will download the entire website into a zip file for me. Look at it. Everything is not more than 2 MB. So now that you know HTML, you can start playing with a template website. The more you are using them to design, the more you'll be understanding what each of these things does. So if I open the website folder now, I'll just extract it. Now, it is here. So this is the website, and these are all the files. So let me carry this website to my document folder and paste it here. I just call it, maybe I just call it travel. Do you understand? I would open it. This is the home page. This is practically what you'll be doing if you were to work with a template website. Okay. At the same time, you know, this is the page. You can open it with your code editor. Look at the page here. Remember, what is the first thing you want to change? The title. Because you know that the title is what shows on the top. So let's say it's Benjamin Travels Limited. I'll do that for all the pages. You know, I'm still working with just the home page. I go, I scroll down, I'm looking at it. While I'm looking at the code, I'll be looking at the page, so I know what I'm doing. This villa, I want to change it. I don't want that villa there. Welcome to our villas. Kinikon. All you just need to do, because you know HTML, you will not be afraid to read through the text. So villa, I change it to Benjamin. I come here. These are the menu: home, about us, gallery. Let's say I don't need gallery. I highlight it and take it out. It means that by the time I refresh the page, gallery will not be here again. If the page refreshes. I want it to complete refresh. You can see the title has changed to Benjamin Travel Limited.
Yes.
So that place where they wrote Benjamin, that we first changed. This is where your logo should be. You can see they said div ID logo. This is where logo should be. So if you have a logo, you take out the whole of this place and write the image source
logo
to where your logo is. Do you understand?
Yes.
So now you see the other menu has left. Benjamin is here. I don't need all this drop down. Maybe I want to change it to services. You just go there, change it to what you want. The whole of these ones are unnecessary drop down. I just take out everything. See where the airline started, ended here. I just change and make sure that instead of that one, I have services. You know, I'm just duplicating what I have.
Yes.
I say you should go to services.html. You know, I come down again. All those people where they say welcome to Villa, I say welcome to Benjamin. Do you understand? Hotels are resort villas. Hotels are resort. Maybe the next, you know, there are different slider. The first one is enjoy your moment. The third one is, so these are all the things in the perfect location. These are all the things that you are seeing here. The first one is hotel and resort. Enjoy your moment. Modern and Kinecon. You would have changed all these things to what you want. Now, remember that I said all our images are where? Images folder.
Yes.
So all those images, you just be replacing them. This is one. That's the first slider, the second slider. So you just open it with Photoshop. For instance, let me open this one with Photoshop. Or you look for a graphics guy and tell him that, please, I need you to design. And besides, you put your mouse over so that you can see the, what they call it? The dimensions. You can see 1680 by 900. So if you have a graphics designer, just tell him that, help me do 4 banner designs. 1600 by 900. This is what I want. Once you get all those banners, you know, the graphic guy would have given you all the banners. You just replace them with 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to. So like me now, this sorry. So this guy now, let's say I want to just change.
Mr. Luke. Hello, Mr. Luke.
Yeah.
Are we not going too forward? I thought we are supposed to do this tomorrow.
No, this is not tomorrow. This is to share. What we'll be doing tomorrow is WordPress. I'm just answering Benjamin. I think he might relate to what I'm saying because I just wanted to share this W3C layout.
Hello?
W3C layout with you. But we can look at this again tomorrow.
Okay.
Hello?
So we don't jump.
It's okay. It's clear.
Hello?
It's okay. We're clear.
Yeah?
What we are doing now, is it supposed to be in today's lesson?
Yes,
it's
just an idea. Because after you understand HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, you should be able to know where to go and download templates. That's okay. At your level, if you want to do a professional website, you know, starting from scratch will be a lot of work for you. So that W3C layout is where you can find different templates. So what I'm saying is that once you download the template, it's similar to the way we've arranged, the way we'll be arranging our project. All the images here. Hello, I can hear you.
You know what I'm asking you?
Okay.
You know what I'm asking you?
Go ahead, sir.
Because you said when we started, you said if you had gone through this, what you are doing now, initially, most of us will not have the patience to do
And that's
what we've
WordPress.
done
WordPress
so
is
far.
even easier than this. That one is WordPress for tomorrow. That one is even easier than this.
Okay, continue.
You understand? That one is easier than this. So this is just to show you that you can download templates from W3C layout.
Okay.
So as it is, that's about Bootstrap. There's nothing else I really want to show you. I'll just do a simple, maybe spend some time to put a simple page together, similar to what we did yesterday. What I did yesterday, I'll do it again, but this time I'm using Bootstrap. You understand?
Are you doing it all over, or where we stopped? You know, you wanted to just use Bootstrap for the lower part.
No. I won't be able to use Bootstrap for the. Well, what I meant, I think what I said yesterday is somebody in my team will complete the remaining pages, so I can share it as a class work.
Okay, no problem.
And why I said they should complete it there is because it will take a while. Tomorrow, I want to show you how to host a website. So all these websites that we've done, since they've completed the remaining pages, I'll now show you that, okay, this is your website folder, how you host it.
Okay, let's go on, sir.
All right. So I'll just mute the volume a bit, then we'll go. Hello? Okay, good. All right. So using the same folder so that we don't have to, we're maintaining the same CSS document. All I just want to do is to delete everything in the body. Okay, so we have referred to our website. I'm sorry, we're starting our website again. So now I've called the Bootstrap library, which is inside my web page, and I would be creating my CSS because you can't escape creating your own CSS rule. So I'll save this file. I'll call it style. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to name it style.css. Style. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Benjamin?
Yes.
Okay. I switched my earphone. Okay, so like I said, I'll have my own style sheet, and this is the Bootstrap page. So our class work yesterday, which is so let me just go and copy the logo. Trying to so I want to copy the images. The images we used, so that we can save that time. So There's our Boostrap folder here. So I'm just dropping these images into the images folder because these are images that we use. So we'll start from the logo. So for me, rather than start writing CSS or header, border, I'll just do div class container. Inside my container, I'll do my div class. Sorry, div ID because there's a unique identifier for the logo, and I write the code. So this way, I have brought in the logo into my page. So this is our logo. Same thing we did yesterday. I'll now style the logo. To say logo is now if you see you notice that I'm not doing anything with the body. I'm not doing Bootstrap has already taken care of all that. All I just start is from my logo to say margin, maybe top. I think we use about 30. I'll work with a lot of assumptions so that we can move fast. Oh, sorry. I've not linked the style sheet itself. So the same way you have linked to your Bootstrap, you also link to your own style sheet. So the only difference now is that I'm referring to my style.css. That way, whatever action I've drawn will start taking effect. Remember yesterday, remember that here we don't have to start doing a lot of margin padding. All I need to do is to say div class row. I'll draw a row first, then I'll do my first column, div class column MD, let's say 4, because the logo cannot eat more than a space of 4. So I might not necessarily have to put so after joining the class, I can now name that particular div the logo ID. So it uses both tools. So then the next div will be class column MD8. So this is where I want to put all my menu, home, about us, and the rest. Home, about us. So now there's something there was an approach we used. Usually the approach that we usually use is to use UL and list all your, say, home, about us, services, projects, contact us. So this one saves a lot of stress. When you tell Bootstrap that this place is a nav, naturally Bootstrap will take out all the bullets and everything for you. But I prefer, for the purpose of this class, I prefer to shy away from that approach. When you read Bootstrap, let me show you something. When you read Bootstrap on W3 Schools, you see the right class for, sorry, we're going to Bootstrap. Let's play with 3. I will look for nav bar. It's called nav bar. Anytime you want to do your nav in Bootstrap, it's always advisable to follow this nav bar approach. Why do you need to do this? That is this particular part that I'm pulling out. Let's say if it doesn't work, you can use the entire now the reason why you have that nav bar is Bootstrap rearranges the row and the column. But for full mobile optimization, you need this entire nav bar to solve the navigation tab. So what I usually do, I just copy the nav bar, change this to where my logo should be, img, images, logo, then my menu would follow suit: home, about us, services. Let's just say contact us. So we move on. Now, why am I using that nav bar? This is Bootstrap's nav bar. By the time I come to mobile view, it aligns downwards. This saves a lot of stress on mobile. There's also an approach where once you take that nav bar example. Sorry. Once you take that nav, I'm just digressing a bit. Once you take these nav bar examples and you run them, this is why Bootstrap is Bootstrap. Say again. Now I know when you visit some websites, let me give you the Android website, for example. When you minimize, there are a lot of websites that on mobile, because the menu might be too much, it hides to become this border. So on Bootstrap, that is where you can easily achieve that. So when you are reading navbar in Bootstrap, all these examples explains how to achieve that that particular style. So when you are reading Bootstrap, you should put that into consideration so that you can get the best optimization that you want. So I want to just stick to our simple example from about services, contact. This red that comes with it is sign so that you know that there's something wrong in your code in that area. So for me, I rather have my nav normally. I name this class nav. Then I can further style my nav as I like. You can also maintain the class, so it's easy for you to take it off from there. See, this rollover were not there before, but because that place was named a nav, Bootstrap knows that it needs to have a certain rollover. So for me, I can now say, okay, my nav should float right. Let's see how that looks. You remember? Then I just say my nav should have okay, so this time it's nav A. That's all the anchor inside nav. You can now give it color black. Then we can say we want, sorry, we can say the nav over should be color. I don't want to waste time. So, but yesterday we didn't use red. We click the color on this Alibert logo. So on mouse over it becomes red. So now you can see this one has a shaded over around it. You can remove that to say, because that's the background color, you can say background color none. So that while your mouse is moving over it, doesn't have, I have to, I think it's the airline that has that effect. Yeah. Yeah. So most times when you're using your Bootstrap, so I'm saying that inside nav, all the UL that has airline should have, let's say, background none. So let's see if that works. Yes, it's another class that's controlling. So the thing is, you must also be very careful with what do you call it, with your classes, so you don't overflog your menu. This way, I'm using the view code to look at which, I'm using Bootstrap, so I can tell which of the codes is taking care of this guy. So that's what I'm looking at this place. So it's something that is over time you understand how to manage such effects. So I don't want to dwell here to avoid what do you call it? To avoid more confusion. So I can see that it's one of the nerves option that's controlling that effect. But so that we don't waste time, let's move on. The over has the red button. This has that button. If we were to, this is a conflict between Bootstrap and your style sheet. So you can always cater for that later. But let me try one more thing. If I use important. Now, important is something that you can add to your style. When you have the style, like now, if I style my H1 to be 30, Bootstrap's H1 is 36. And for some reason, you just notice that it's still the Bootstrap one is taking. Then you can set important as additional attribute. So the system knows that, okay, you should prioritize the one that has important. So that's why a few times you see me use that important. Sorry. Okay, so the next part after the nav really is our background. So here I can say class. Now the background area is container fluid because it's not going to be limited to the middle of the page. So remember how we did our banner yesterday. Then you can now bring in your div ID because banner. So this one, because what you're designing is custom to your own design. This is a custom design, so the Bootstrap cannot cater for all this. So we still have to use the same approach we used yesterday. So without having to type again from the beginning, let me just go and copy our banner, all the things that we had in our banner yesterday. So the banner class, everything. I need to save us time. So I'm sure you remember we created a banner, we called background image, we set the height for it and everything. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. So if I save all and refresh to see that the banner will come in, the only thing that is left is to create some form of margin for the banner. The margin top, here we didn't specify it because we had specified it in the nav of the previous code. But in this case, I want to put it in the top part, let's say 40 px. So the banner sits the way it should. The content of the page says Allegory Construction Limited, and this is the page to write up. Let's say H1 Allegory Construction Limited, H2. So that way, menu and page falls into place. Remember yesterday, the font style that we were using was Sojo UL. Bootstrap default font is not Sojo UL. So that could make us just include that to the body. You see font family Sojo UL. So that way we cater for our font style. So here the banner H1 has a top padding, margin, bottom. We need to give it a left padding, so that everything that is starting within the, let's say 50, so that the text doesn't start at this edge. So that has been achieved. You'll see that this guy has a small margin here. That's our container fluid that is doing that. We can deliberately close that out and say style margin for just this particular one, say 0 pixels. Also do padding the margin. It doesn't require when it's the padding. So usually every Bootstrap element tries to put a certain level of space for control sake. If we check this on mobile, you see this guy aligned because they assume that, okay, when you're on mobile, it cannot keep going horizontally. So now we move to the next part of the page, which is after the banner. I want to get to where we were yesterday because of that column stuff that I want to share. So here we have, so yesterday we had to write too many code to cater for this place. But with Bootstrap, you can save yourself a lot of that stress, especially when it has to be something simple. So I can do div class, another container, so that it starts in the middle of the page. So here you can say div class row, because every important stuff will be in a new row. So here, I'll just say div class column MD6. So what should be inside the first 6? Another MD6. So I've divided that column into 2, which is this place. Half is here, half is on the other side. So all I need to bring in the other half is that image IMG image slash. Let me see. I just want to copy the name of the picture. I dump it here. I'm sure you agree with me that with Bootstrap, even while I'm talking, I'm moving a little bit faster. Here I say H1, I close my H1. I say welcome to Allegory. I think that's what we have on the text there. Then immediately after welcome to Allegory, I paste this whole text. Where's my design? I paste this whole text there. And I paste it there. I put, yesterday I was using paragraph. You can also use BR, but when you want to use BR, you use 2 BRs. 2 BRs will make 1 paragraph. Then I say href, which is for the bottom. I say learn more. So this way, once I refresh this page, you can see this guy just maintains left, this one maintains his lane. So I can further style that container, that particular container. So you see, I'm using my external style sheet and I'm using my my HTML. I can also be writing inline style sheet for a particular area, but this time I want to give this place an ID, call it content area. The singular reason I want to do this so I can control the padding and margin. I say content area, and I say margin top to be 30 pixels. Let's just say that. The time I refresh let's reduce padding there. Let's see. Oh, I didn't save the index. Save all. Refresh. So you can see we have given a little bit of margin. Maybe just increase it a bit to something more like 50. So that way, I can say I'm satisfied with this layer. I can also add bottom margin so that the next text does not start immediately after it. So that's that. Then the next thing is to come to these our boxes. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. There are 4 boxes in a row. So the next thing is to say our project. I can just create a row, say project area. I say background color. Let me just say 66. Padding. Top. We need that padding at the top, 40 or 35. You know, yesterday what I was doing was to get the exact measurement. I would draw a rectangle. I'll come and check the distance between this place and this place. I'm just saving those time that we used yesterday. So when you actually want to design, you must follow the prototype given to you by the designer. I used 3 days to come up with a top-notch XD file, and I'll pass it to the person who is converting it to HTML, and he doesn't do what I'm seeing there. We can tear our shirts in the office. So for project area, create another sorry, this container ends there. Now I create another container fluid. Why? Because the project area took the entire width in terms of it started from the edge to this edge in terms of the gray area. So I say container. And I say class. Excuse me, please. Say container fluid, and I close that. In my container fluid, I can give it an ID. Call it what I call this one now. Project area. Now you can see this particular div is sharing the Bootstrap class, container fluid, and my own style. So it will use the two. The only thing is that it prioritizes my own because my own comes in later. So why that is that I can use the container fluid. Look at it, refresh. You see, the whole of this place has been taken out. I can start putting my content in it in that area. I can say another H1 project. If you refresh, you see our project. But our project should inside that container fluid. We will not do div class container. But the container starts in a different area. So I say div class row is one. I say H1. That way it's our project starts in line with our H1. But our H1 is looking bigger than what our design says. So I can as well still write that H1 should not be more than size, let's say 30 pixels. By the time I refresh, it's smaller. So now inside my what do you call it? Inside my container area, I want to create another row, new class row, and this row would have 4 boxes. That means, so I want to divide that place into 4 different divs, and 4 different columns. So this is div class column 3. Sorry, MD3. Sorry. Sorry, just a second. Hello. Okay, so I guess we can say 3. I'll do 3 in 4 different places. So each of this one now, I'll have to bring in the images. Say images, project 1, JPG. And I remember yesterday we added a text, yes, a bit of the text under it, which is the text exercise 14. So we are. So what we have here is I can replicate it into each of those other 3 boxes. And this one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 4. Let's see how that comes out. Now you can see they all arrange themselves without stories. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing you now want to do is to maybe give them another name. Let's say I call them. I want to create a class called project items. But before then, let me just add the class project item to each of these. So later I'll create the rule. I'll create the rule. Yes. So creating the rule, I'm duplicating it so they look like this. So this one is there, this one is there, this one. You can see that with Bootstrap, without having to stress myself, I was able to quickly replicate some of these items. So now all I want to do is to say, I want to style project item. So I can easily say project item, which is a class. We should have color, let's say red, for the purpose of saving time. You see all the text are now red. Project item, all the images inside, project item should have margin bottom of at least 10 pixels so that there's a space between the text and the images. So the image is pushing the text down a bit. Project item itself should have a font size of 14 pixels. Once you refresh, you see that the text would, okay, 14 is the default, so let's make it 16, sorry. So the text is a bit bigger. I think we made them bold. Font width, bold. So that's good. So now for every project item, let the project item itself have a margin bottom of 30. What we are using that for is to push this one away from the one beneath it. So now they're looking different. You can see that naturally it gave it the padding and the spacing that it needed. So we're done with that phase. So the next thing is to say, okay, we want to do this our services, which is the bottom part of our design. This one we didn't touch yesterday. So I can quickly say the class. This one is our service is a container because it's not touching the edge. I can name it. I can say sorry, div class row, and this on this role I want to write our services. Even this row, there's a text align in Bootstrap. You don't need to write the code. You can see the align center straight because I have a code that says text center. So I didn't have to go and write the style. Bootstrap knows what I mean by text center. If I say text left, I say text right. So text center is what we did at the moment. I want to give this an idea. I call it services area. So in case I want to style anything there. So this guy is supposed to be H1 too. It's supposed to be an H1. Services. And the text that follows our services is what I need to copy out of this. So that I started making his own. So our services, the text come under. Then the next thing is to say our services shouldn't be touching the edge. And this one is okay, it's not bad. So the next thing is to say our next role here, the class role. I'm dividing it into two, but the two are not two equal half. So I want to do div class column. I'll say 1 or 2, 2. Then the rest is Bootstrap. Okay, so 2. Yeah. Or let's say 1. That's MD1. And the next one is 1. I want this to be 5. So everything here is 10. I'm keeping an allowance on this side and an allowance on this side so that I can use the middle space for what I want. Or I just maintain 6, 6 and use CSS to further manage the space. So for me, we have not exported this image earlier, so I would highlight this image and export this one. Export selected. I don't even know why I exported it. Export selected. It was going to the Bootstrap, the CSS class of yesterday. So these 2 images are what I need. So I call them, I can move them to my Bootstrap folder and say services 1 and services 2. So that way I know that the 2 images that I'm bringing into this place is SRC services 1. Oh, another thing. These images are background. They are in the background. It's the text that is on it, similar to what we did here. So I'm going to repeat that style for this one. So I'll call this ID. I'll give it the name save1, and I'll give this one a name save2. The whole idea is that the only thing that should be here is construction. And the only thing that should be here is interior design. Interior design. So this looks construction, interior design. But now, because we want to style that area, we would we'll now come for serve one. I'll say background image, images / services. One that the picture. Let me look at the height. The height is 423, 437. Height 437 pixels. Let me give it a width. 529. Width equals 529 equals. So you see, the image is here, the text is inside. The text is inside here. The image is there. So I can now say service one should have a margin right of, let's say, 30 pixels. Let's see how that would look. These are just minor things that you might want. So here I can put should be out so that the text doesn't stay too much to the top. So that way, now the text that I hear is what I need to align to the bottom. So in the meantime, this should be 2, not 1. So I'll replicate the same code for 1 and 2. But the thing about 2 is that the image is pointing to 2. Now for the text, because we can say padding top should be 200. Now the funny thing about padding, when you add padding to a box, you must also be careful because it pushes the box down. So if the height is 423, the padding is 200. See what will happen to that first box. The image is coming, sorry, the text is coming down. So we need something close to that something, let's say 400. So the text is down now. You can see this one is still here. This one is here. So 400 is the ideal padding. I'll now add font size. Let's say 30 pixels. I'll add color to white. I'll say font width should be bold. So I can replicate this same thing for the other guy because you need to have the same attributes. Once I refresh, you see. So maybe I should move the height of width to 380. 380. So that way it's not touching the bottom of the page. So here are contents, our services area. I want to give it a small margin button so that the next object does not start immediately after a small margin button of 50 px. So that's the bottom that we're seeing now. This way we're moving to the next thing. The next thing is to say we had header, we had this, these are images. You can add them one by one and just put them left. I'm running out of time. I need to enter another meeting. Let me see. So far, are you guys following?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I guess I'll jump. Okay, no, don't let me jump anything. Let me just brush up what is left. So at least we'll complete this page. This. Okay, I guess you can hear me now. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So that way you can. What I did was to select them one by one, group them, and export them. So I can bring it as one image, which I have named client. Let me see what I named them. Clients. Okay, I just named them clients. So client.jpg. That way, clients would come in here. So our clients and all the client images follow. So the next thing is footer. So our client area, our footer area. So I'll start with the footer. Now, about our services and the rest. So the footer has a very dark gray background, which is this color. So I want to copy out that color. There's a padding top, and there's a space under. So our footer uses the container with the class container with. I'll give it an ID called footer so I can further style it. And I come here and start styling my footer. First thing I need to do is to say my footer background color is this, and the color for the text on it is white. That way, any text that goes into it is mine. So inside the footer, I now put a container, a class container. Container is to help us align our text to the middle. So now in the footer, we have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. This 2 takes 6 because this is halfway. So it means I'll use 3, 3. This one takes more space. I can use the entire 6 for this one and just float it right. So that way we can move straightforward to say div class row, div class column MD3. That's the first part. And what do we have there is a small text and about us. So this is the small text. So I'll just first do H2, and I've written about us, and the small text falls under. I refresh that now, I should get this. Now I want my footer text to be smaller, which is the standard, so it doesn't compete. So I can make it 10 pixels. I can now say my footer H2, that the H2 inside my footer 2 should be smaller because that's the standard. I can say that should be 18 pixels. That way I have controlled the effect of my footer. Then I want my footer also to have padding, bottom, padding bottom of 30 pixels, so that my page doesn't just end at the actual edge of my screen. So there's a space there. So now the next thing I'm to do is to do my second column, which is the next column. I just duplicate that one, and I say connect with us. So connect with all the text that's under this object. You know, I can highlight them together just the same way, export them as an image. But ideally, what we need to do is to do them one by one. Why? Because we need to link them one by one. You know, this one is one object. So I'm just going to export them for the purpose of the class, so that we can wrap this up. And so these are the icons. So I can name them. Social icons. So I just bring in the image img src images / social icon. That way, there seems to be a challenge here. Okay, because these pictures are standalone, they are white, so they didn't land. It came when I exported it. Okay, let me see whether if I export as PNG. Select the PNG, enables transparent background. So let's see whether that works. Because it came when he exports with the this one. This is what I should have used, PNG. PNG takes out PNG does not give it force a white background to on the images. So JPEG forces an image to have a white background, whereas PNG, if there's no background with the image, it doesn't go with the background. When I refresh now, they would appear as they should. So the last part of this footer, which is the sign up on newsletter and the form field and all that, for me, for optimal design, so that I don't struggle, we will do 3. We'll do one here, but the one will be blank. Then the next side would be, if this is 3, 3, that's 6. Sorry, 2, making 8, and this is 4. That 4 will be sufficient for the form control that we want to have here. So here I can just say sign up for newsletter, which is the H2. So I just drop it here. Sign up for newsletter. And the form control, I'll put a form tag inside the form. I'll now put my input type text placeholder, which is enter your email address. Then I include a class form control. And the next line, I do the same, but this one is a button input. I have to put a BR so it knows that this goes to the next line. Input type submit value subscribe class button, but this button is danger because that's the color. So if I refresh, I get this. You can see now the difference between our button here and what we have is that the Bootstrap comes with a curved edge by force by fire, and our own has our text box has a gray fill, which is this color. I want to maintain that. Every other thing is fine. So that I can go back to my CSS and create a class and call the class, create an ID and call it my text. Give my text the background color of this color. Give it the major color should now be 333, which is dark gray. 666 is fine. And then I can now tell my CSS that because both the button and the text is an input, all the inputs inside footer should have a border radius of 0. So that way that edge, I've zeroed it out. It won't curve anymore. So when I refresh this page, what you see is, background color here. What you see is this. This text background color is not changing. Let me see whether I can make it important. Did I name it? Okay, my text, I didn't name the text field, my text. So I'll include that class inside. I'll call it ID, my text. So that way, that rule can apply to the text field. So the only thing we have here is immediately after all this, before I close my container ends there. I know there's an HR, which is horizontal rule. Immediately after everything, That's that line that you're seeing here. Then we can have our copyright, which is the smaller text to what we had. So I can put a div here and say ID is copyright. Copyright. So I can have the copyright text sits here. All I just need to do to copyright is to give it the appropriate margin and padding. So if I look at this, it's perfect. I really don't have to do anything again. So guys, I'm sure this gives you an insight of the rigor that you go through when you are designing a website. So any question? I'm unmuting the volume, sir. Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, so I said that's it for
Baby girl. You're not a big baby.
So any question? Okay, it appears that there are no questions, so I'll just end the class as usual. Upload the video for us to have access to. I'll also zip this classwork. The flow for our class tomorrow is to host the website. So I want to note them down so that we don't forget. So the class first thing is to how to host the website, then how to design a website with WordPress.
Oh. That was the final stage.
So thank you for yes, that's the final class. So thank you very much everyone for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lu.
Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for your time, sir.